I spent a long time just feeling I wasn't good enough. So in that sort of having to overcompensate, to make people feel really comfortable, to go that extra mile, to make everyone else happy, and I was bottom of that pile, which works for a period of time, and everyone loves you and you're their best friend, but it's very one-sided. If you need something, if you want something back, if you need help, it becomes very difficult to ask for help because there's a fear, there's like an internal voice that says, but if I show you that I have needs, that's needy, and then you're going to see a side of me that you're not going to like, and then you're going to leave me. So you learn to bottle things up. That breeds resentment. There's a lot of pain in that as well. So personally for me, learning how to say no, learning my own boundaries, what feels comfortable to me, what doesn't feel comfortable to me, was a huge process, but it transformed everything. A person on the outside would see me and think, oh, you know, she's really popular, she's out all the time, she's always with people. I felt lonely. I had all these people around me and I felt exhausted because a lot of it was me fixing other people or kind of helping them and just doing this all for other people, but nobody heard me or saw me. And it would be very easy for me to say, well, they're all bad people and they didn't see me, but I played a massive part in that as well. I wouldn't let people see me. I'd let people see the rescuer and the helper. That's a very hard pathway. Human beings are relational creatures, so we like to feel that connection. It hurts us. It actually hurts us if you feel like you've been isolated or you're on the outside of something. So the people-pleasing is a mechanism to get that need met. If I please you, then you're going to want to be with me, and then it's okay. The conflict comes as you become more aware of your own inner needs, and you start to feel that tension, like, I'm not happy with that, I don't want this anymore. So first up, I'd say before you go telling anybody you've broken my boundary, work out what your boundaries are. And by that I mean, you know, I encourage my clients to do like a kind of cataloging exercise almost. So in boundaries, there will be some that you absolutely can't break. I.e., if you're in a relationship, if that person cheats, no. Right? Another person might say, you know, I'm all right with that. So then that would become like a sort of amber code, i.e., this has happened, it's put me on a bit of alert, I'm going to watch and see. So the first step would be understanding what is it that you appreciate and what do you not like? What is it that leaves you feeling anxious, insecure, upset? Okay? And when you're communicating your boundaries to people, I always say to my clients, this isn't a policing exercise. This is not your job to go around going, and another thing, you did this and you can't do that. No, because we can't control other people. This is more about you understanding yourself, like what kind of relationship is it that I want? That starts from you. And we teach people how to treat us. So if you have gone down this pathway of accepting pretty poor behavior from a person, and then all of a sudden turn around and say, no, right, I'm not accepting that anymore, that person's going to be like, what? So your behavior needs to be consistent, which takes confidence, which takes that awareness, like, this is my line in the sand. I'm not afraid if you leave, because I know that this is good. And this is healthy. For those personality types who are quite out there, who are the life and soul of the party, who are always entertaining others, in terms of them putting boundaries in place, again, it's about understanding, why am I behaving in the way that I am? Thoughts, feelings, behavior are linked. Okay, so I'm behaving in a certain way to achieve an outcome here. I would say, if that person was in front of me, there's something about that pattern of behavior that got their needs met, probably way back when. This could be entertaining a parent who was otherwise emotionally unavailable or, you know, engaged. This would be about capturing people's attention and keeping it, but it's also a mechanism of control. I'm controlling what I want you to see. I don't want you to see what's behind that. And then, once you've figured out what's behind that behavior, how do I feel if I'm not doing that? and really be honest with yourself about that. What comes in? If I'm not playing the clown or the entertainer and I'm just present and here, what is it that I feel? There might be fear there. There might be a feeling of overwhelm. There might be, I don't actually want to be here. I don't like all these people around me. So that's about honouring that very young part of yourself that probably in your childhood was overlooked. And understanding that having those quieter moments, not wanting to always be on and active, etc., is okay. You know, human beings have multiple parts to them. You're not always right. Lights, camera, on, you know, and I'm going to entertain everybody. Honour the quieter parts of you. So take care of those. Then that builds your confidence. And it's how you treat yourself. It's working from the inside out. Often if we're a people pleaser, our attention is located outside of us. What do other people think of me? And in all honesty, it doesn't really matter. But I think that pearl of wisdom came with age. Yeah, if you'd asked me like 10 years ago or so, I would have been like, no, other people are very important. But you kind of learn as you go through it, no, it's me, it's what I feel comfortable with. So if a person oversteps your boundary, you can either talk to them about it, which is courageous, but requires you to understand what has been overstepped here, what is it that I want you to do instead, and have that conversation with them. Option 2, you can ignore it. If you think that that overstepping of the boundary is minor or you're feeling a bit sort of insecure about having that chat, then ignore it. But I'm going to caveat that and say, if you continue to ignore things, that might sort of end up in a kind of inner explosion, and then you might go mad over like the smallest thing, and the other person will be like, what is wrong with you? You know, so just be mindful of that. What's the reason I'm willing to overlook that? Or thirdly, if it's too big a sort of overstep of your boundary, leave. I think we can communicate so much with our behaviour, because often you find words and behaviour don't match. People say, yeah, I'm really upset with that, and then their behaviour sort of continues like everything's okay. We teach people how to treat us. Little piece of advice. The people that don't like you having boundaries or don't like your boundaries are the very ones that you need them for in the first place. An emotionally healthy and contained enough person will accept them. Be okay, or be curious about them and ask you about them and want to work into them. Not be like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that, you know, I can't believe you've changed. You're not the person I thought you were, you know. If it's fragile like that, let it break.